Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're looking at the sources you sent about a genuine media phenomenon, the film and series Ipar Adalah Maut. But we're going to zero in on the singular creative force behind it, the producer, Manoj Punjabi.
Yeah, this is a really unique story. It's not just about a local hit film. It's a perfect case study in how one producer can take a piece of viral gossip.
Just raw social media scandal, really.
Exactly, a raw, dramatic, and frankly, a pretty local scandal, and just elevate it, transform it into this multi-platform, record-breaking engine that, well, it ended up resonating on a global scale.
And when you say record-breaking, you mean it. This is seismic.
Yeah.
The film version, The Sister-in-Law's Death, hit an unbelievable 4.77 million viewers.
Which is just staggering.
To put that in context, that number let it blow past Indonesian cinematic legends. I'm talking Laskar Pelangi, Habibie, and Ainun. It surpassed them on the all-time gross list. That just doesn't happen by accident.
No, it really doesn't. And what's maybe even more interesting to me than the initial numbers is the longevity. That success didn't just fade away.
Not at all.
It dominated the cinema, then it transitioned perfectly to streaming, and then it locked down the TV series format too.
Okay, so our mission today is clear. We're going to strip away the box office totals and the gossip and really try to uncover the specific creative philosophy, the strategic choices that Manoj Punjabi made that pushed this thing into the stratosphere.
Right.
He's not just a financier. The sources call him a pensirita sejati, a true storyteller. We want to find out how he earned that other title, architect of emotion.
To understand that, you have to look at the huge strategic shift he made right at the start. I mean, most producers would just leverage the existing outrage,
Give the audience what they are.
Give them the scandal they crave. But Punjabi, he chose the opposite path. And that fundamentally changed everything about the final product.
Okay, let's unpack that. So this viral story lands on his desk at MD Entertainment. What was the path of least resistance, and why did he reject it so forcefully?
The easy path was just simple exploitation. You find the villain, you make the victim super sympathetic, and you just crank up the melodrama to 11.
Sure.
But Punjabi insisted on this foundational vision that reframed the entire conflict. His core mantra, which became the creative North Star for the whole project, was yang salah bukan orangnya, yang salah adalah keadaan.
The fault is not the person. The fault is the circumstance.
Wow, that's a powerful philosophical pivot, isn't it?
It is.
It instantly stops the story from being about just, judging people, and it forces it to become this deeper, darker portrait of human frailty under pressure.
Precisely. And this philosophy, it became the demanding backbone of the entire adaptation process. It's easy to say the circumstances at fault, but it's incredibly difficult to actually write that way.
I can imagine.
And to make sure the script had that nuance, the film version was reportedly revised up to 15 times. 15 drafts. That is an incredible amount of creative rigor for a story that was already, famous as gossip. You can almost hear the writers just wanting to move on.
It really speaks to the pressure he was willing to take on just to get it right. If the writers tried to make a scene feel too black and white, if they defaulted to cheap drama...
The easy route.
Yeah. His instruction was unwavering. We are not making a story about who is naughty. We are making a story about how circumstances can destroy a family. The focus always had to be on the situation, not the moral failing.
And that focus led directly to what I think is the most fascinating rework, the character of Eris. The actor playing him was already known to the public from a different hit film, Layangan Putus, where he played the classic easy-to-hate cheater. He was cunning, egoistic, and a professional cheater.
That recognition was a huge hurdle. The audience came in pre-programmed to just despise this character. If Punjabi had allowed that to continue, the story would have been predictable, forgettable, really.
So how did he counteract that audience expectation?
Well, Manoj intentionally directed the team to make a really stark distinction. Eris, in this story, in Ipar Adalah Maut, had to be more innocent. The word they used was polos.
So not inherently a bad guy.
Right. His cheating, according to the director's notes, had to happen because, as the source puts it, keadaan yang merumuskannya circumstances pushed him into it.
That is the stroke of genius right there. It elevates the material beyond melodrama.
It absolutely does. It stops the audience from getting that easy satisfaction of just hating the villain. Instead, it creates this sustained moral dilemma. Is Eris a victim of his environment, or is he the perpetrator?
Or both.
Or both. And that ambiguity was crucial to making the story gugahati, to stir the heart, rather than just, generating instant outrage. It forces you, the viewer, to wrestle with it.
And that deep attention to creative rigor, refusing that easy route, it clearly paid off. Theory is one thing, but market proof is everything. Let's talk about the cultural impact this generated.
The theatrical success was immediate.
Yeah.
And overwhelming. We mentioned the 4.77 million total, but to get there, they hit 1 million viewers in just 5 days.
5 days.
And 3 million in 2 weeks. It showed that the public was actually ready for complexity, not just scandal.
For me, though, the most compelling evidence of its power was that organic virality. This story became so sticky that the entire country started interacting with it, almost without any official promotion.
It's the definition of a story achieving escape velocity. The film's title, it just became a national meme template. You saw these absurd parodies, Ipar Adalah Maut, the sister-in-law is a bolt.
Right, and the more relatable ones like Ipar Maut, which is late salary is death.
And even public safety slogans, Ipar Adalah Maut, speeding is death. The story just transcended the film itself. It became cultural shorthand, which proves that the nuanced approach was actually more marketable than pure shock value.
And that success translated globally. When the film hit Netflix, and we're talking about a very localized cultural drama here, it broke records there too.
Huge. A huge splash. It debuted straight at #1 on Netflix Indonesia, and it held that spot for more than a full month.
That's incredible staying power.
It is. But more importantly, it broke into the super competitive top 10 global list for non-English films. It got 1.5 million views in its first week alone. It proved that the core conflict, a fragile family destroyed by circumstance, that it's universal.
Okay, so he's established the foundation for this massive global hit, but his boldest and I think strategically most fascinating move came with the series adaptation.
Ah, yes.
This is where he goes from being just a skilled producer to that architect of emotion.
This is where we shift from architecture to high-stakes creative gambling. The series was designed to maintain that dominance, and it did. Top 1 on Netflix for over 4 weeks, record share on TV, but it came at a psychological cost for the audience.
I have to imagine the writers on the series watching the film just explode would naturally want to give the audience what they demanded, right?
Of course.
Reveal the affair quickly, give people that emotional release they're waiting for. It's pretty standard for long-form TV.
And that's where Manoj Punjabi stepped in with his highest-risk mandate yet. He overruled that natural instinct for satisfaction. His instruction was, well, it was crystal clear. Jangan dulu, kalau dibuka sekarang, penonton selesai.
Don't open it yet. If it's open now, the audience is done.
He was intentionally stopping that immediate gratification. He understood this critical psychological insight about series. The strength of the story isn't how quickly you satisfy curiosity, but how long you can hold the tension and the curiosity hostage.
Because once the truth is out, curiosity dies. The viewer has permission to tune out. So he decided to prolong the misery.
Exactly. And he wasn't just delaying it for a few episodes. He was holding their emotions hostage for a sustained period, making the experience one of ketergantungan emotional dependence, not just a binge watch with a quick fix.
I need to grasp the scale of this. How long did he actually make them wait for the central explosive secret to be revealed?
Okay, get this. The sources confirm the central secret. The true, explicit opening of the affair was not delivered until episode 45.
45.
Episode 45. In the context of modern streaming, where you can binge everything at once, holding back the main conflict for 45 episodes it's genuinely revolutionary. Or maybe maniacal.
That is shocking. I can only imagine the kind of internal resistance that decision generated, not just from the writers, but from marketing, finance. I mean, every episode delayed is a financial risk.
It is. Every episode without that payoff risks the viewer just dropping the show entirely. But Punjabi's insight was that the risk of indifference was much, much greater than the risk of anger.
And the response from the audience was, well, it was exactly that emotional explosion.
Absolutely. The viewers, the penanton, they felt Dikyanati betrayed. They felt let down. Manoj Punjabi's social media was apparently flooded with intense protests, anger, frustration, even curses. People were furious.
But if we connect this to the bigger picture, this public fury, it wasn't a failure, was it? It was actually the ultimate indicator of success.
It was a proof of concept. He understood this fundamental principle of mass engagement. Oromo ara karena mereka sudah menginvestasikan perasaan.
People are angry because they have invested their feelings.
They've invested their time, their feelings, their hope, episode after episode. If the series had just been boring, they would have dropped off quietly. The show would have been a failure.
You're right.
The fact that they stayed and were engaged enough to send him angry messages proved the emotional dependence had worked.
And in the age of algorithms, this is key, right? That massive engagement, whether it was hujatan, which is hate, or pujian, praise, it's all treated the same by the metrics.
Exactly the same.
Yeah.
It generates interaction, keeps the story trending, and it ensures the series stays a national, unavoidable topic of conversation for weeks on end.
So he didn't just tolerate the backlash, he strategically manufactured it. He chose to menyiksa penantin, to torture the audience, and membuat mereka marah, to make them angry.
All to achieve a greater goal.
To create a story that sticks and refuses to be forgotten, he prioritized engagement over their immediate comfort.
And the results speak for themselves. The series maintained its dominance across every platform, not despite the controversy, but because of the massive emotional wake that strategic delay created. It confirms his status, I think, as a true architect of emotion.
So, to summarize the key takeaways for you listening, Manoj Punjabi took a piece of viral content and just refused the easy path of scandal. Instead, he forced a philosophical shift. The fault lies with circumstance.
And that demanded rigorous script revisions and the intentional complication of his main character.
Then, strategically, he mastered cross-platform dominance, translating box office success into global streaming proof, followed by a series that defied all traditional storytelling norms by withholding its central secret until episode 45.
The controversy that followed wasn't a mistake. It was a carefully calculated victory. He leveraged that audience frustration to generate massive, sustained engagement and ultimately record-breaking performance.
It's a bold lesson. As Manoj Punjabi himself once said, "Film besar lahir dari cerita besar, dan cerita besar lahir dari keberanian untuk melihat manusia apa adanya."
Great films are born from great stories, and great stories are born from the courage to see humans as they truly are.
That willingness to choose sustained tension, even audience frustration, over instant gratification is fascinating. It really changes the conversation around modern content. So here's a final thought. If the most dangerous thing in storytelling today is ketidakdulian, or indifference, should creators actively choose to make you angry, to make you anxious, just to ensure their work survives all the noise?
That's the question his success forces us to consider. Is emotional dependency the future of long-form media? Something to think about until our next deep dive.